Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, I'm so sorry to interrupt. Pardon me, I'm sorry. Can I just, excuse me, sorry. Can I just, can I have the ketchup? I'm sorry for bothering you. I literally watched somebody apologize, say sorry 4 times because they were just trying to get a bottle of ketchup. Seems extreme until you look at your own self. Because here's the thing, I actually used the word sorry the other day with a person, and they said, "You don't really need to apologize. There's nothing to be sorry for." And I was like, "Huh?" They're like, "You just said you were sorry." And I was like, "I did?" They're like, "Yeah, did you notice that you say it quite a lot?" Honestly, I didn't realize it. Um, Not because I don't want to be unapologetic or something like that. And I think it comes from a good place. But I also know that it can very quickly, very easily become something that becomes a default. It becomes the way we feel about ourselves. And in that, we end up apologizing for everything, being the blame for everything. I got to a place in my life where there was literally nothing that was going on in the world that I couldn't root cause it to somehow being my fault. I mean, you know, the bombing of 9/11 happens and somehow I am apologizing for it. Huge world events, little tiny small things. You stub your toe and you apologize because the thing that you bumped into, it somehow is your fault. You weren't paying attention, whatever. Maybe you don't go through that, but I know a lot of us do. A lot of us tend to spend way too much time feeling guilty, overthinking, minimizing ourselves. Sometimes it comes from some bad training in our life. It comes from being told how powerful humility is, which, by the way, isn't the right definition for that word at all. Um, there is a use in the English language for the word humble, which really doesn't have origins in what humility really means. And that has to do with the understanding of your place in the world compared to God. And it has to do with understanding I didn't create this planet that I live on. I'm not the one that keeps it spinning. And I owe allegiance, acknowledgement, whatever, to something that's greater, bigger than me. And really, honestly, I don't care what side of the fence you're on, whether you're human design, Big Bang Theory, creationist, any of those kind of things. I'm not here to debate that. But we end up buying into this humility as a general rule because our need to understand our place in the world makes us defame ourselves, to demean and diminish ourselves in order to be quote unquote humble. Humility actually is having a right perspective of yourself. The real word, the root word from the Greek and the Latin and the Hebrew, has to do with understanding what you're good at, what you're not good at, and being able to, through God's eyes, really truly say what you're good at and what you're not good at. Never is humility about demeaning or diminishing yourself. And when you do that, you're not being humble. That's actually the opposite side of the coin from conceit. I mean, it's all both sides of that same coin. To understand and appreciate your place in the world and to know that there is something greater than you is a word that has been now translated into humble. And humbling yourself in that way, it's almost always said humbling yourself, has to do with taking your right place, to be respectful for people who are better at something than you are. Not in a way where you're demeaning yourself, but in a way where you're understanding and also acknowledging them. If we all did that to each other, if every one of us really just lived in a place where we were grateful for the things that other people can do and also grateful for the things that we can do, we could really do some powerful things together. But all too often, instead, what we do is apologize. Learning from others. Yes, absolutely. We totally could. Learn from others and teach to others. Each of us has that place. So, my question for you today is, what's something ridiculously small that you caught yourself apologizing for? And did you really need to apologize for it, or have you just been trained? I want you to think about that today. I'd love to hear your comments. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you're having a great day. Hope the sun's shining and you feel wonderful inside. And that even if the sun isn't shining outside, that it is inside of you. I look forward to our talks every day. And I hope until we're together again tomorrow, you have a great week.